Hey guys. Alright, so we've had a lot going on. I was gonna do a video. Oh, today's Monday, never mind. Feels like it's been longer than it has. I am really tired. I have a sinus headache. The weather down here has been stormy and humid and ridiculous. But I do have something that we're discussing. There's a Chloe and I cannot English today. There's a possibility, not possibility, not Sylvester. No. There's a possibility, a very good possibility, that we will be moving Faith First Farm and Homestead. Again, I don't know. It's in the discussion mode. We're having issues with the heat and with just some other things, so it's in the discussion stage. So, anyway. It's not a hush-hush thing like it was in Michigan, because I don't have a cranky ex that I have to worry about. But, anyway, we're discussing some things. Our friend Andrew would definitely be helping us out and be with us on the whole thing, but I will definitely tell you guys once things are, once we find out more. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Don't worry, guys. I'm still going to be doing my videos. And you know what? You guys can homestead from anywhere. Any of the 50 states. You can homestead in any of the states. It's possible to homestead no matter where you are. Okay? So, anyway. This one today is going to be on micro farms and urban farms. Well, just one for now, because I'm going to be doing quite a bit more. I want to get into this book. The next chapter is on how to farm and the basics. So, alright. Here we go. Micro farms. Yard farms and urban farms, for that matter, are a type of micro farm. In my experience, yard farms tend to be smaller, whereas micro farms tend to be less than 5 acres in size. Slightly bigger than their smaller cousins. Technically, there's no standard definitions for a microfarm, as small. Family farms are, on average, 231 acres, according to a United States Department of Agriculture 2012 census. All of the tips on developing a yard farm apply, but there are two big differences: infrastructure and equipment. Homesteads bigger than 1 acre will need just a touch more in the way of equipment than yard-sized operations, particularly in the form of a small power tiller, broad fork, or wheel hoe. Extra equipment also means extra infrastructure, particularly in the form of shelter for your tools. Microfarms might also require extra plumbing to provide irrigation nearer to crops. All of these things are potential operation wrecking costs to a homestead. It also must be noted that more land doesn't always mean more produce. Unlike more other production operations, the economy of scale rule doesn't always apply to farms, which cut into cost per calorie and cost per unit calculations. Therefore, a good rule of thumb with homesteading is to aim for what you need instead of what you think you want. Oh my gosh, my head hurts really bad. We've got more storms coming. That's why my head hurts like this. I have to take some ibuprofen. Anyway, so, on the equipment they're talking about, it is always possible to do your homesteading work without big equipment, you guys. You don't need tractors. You don't need all this technical high-end equipment to run your homestead, even if you have a large one. Yes, it makes it easier. But what's going to happen once we get to the point where power grids are down? What is going to happen? That stuff is not going to work. And even if it does, how are you going to get gasoline for it? None of the gas pumps are going to work. Your vehicles aren't going to work. You're not going to be able to go get gas. So you might as well have stuff that you can use to run your homestead without needing that stuff. And that's our aim, is to be completely off-grid without having to worry about gas for machines, gas for tools, gas for equipment. We don't need that. And we're also going to definitely look into a horse and buggy, which with our things that we're discussing in the area that we're looking into, there's Amish communities all around that area. So, and yes, I will talk to you guys about it, but not right now. Okay, urban farms. Urban farms aren't determined by size, but by location. Any farm within an urban area is considered an urban farm. While these operations can be micro farms or yard farms, it seems one defining feature of an urban farm is a greenhouse. Well, with the plans that we're discussing, we will definitely need a greenhouse. And we're going to have to make sure it's a big one. I'm going to make sure it's attached to our cabin like we've planned. But it's going to have to be quite a bit bigger. And I'll have to make sure that it gets a lot of heat. So, excuse me. Choking on my sinuses. Sorry, guys. I went down the wrong way. One of the challenges of urban farming is due to the microclimates within city limits. These microclimates are caused by shade from tall buildings and the canyon effect that these same tall buildings create, moving heat and wind around in unpredictable ways. Greenhouses allow urban farmers a way to offset these unpredictable climate patterns and provide a way to extend the growing season to make up for smaller growing spaces. Greenhouses, however, aren't a necessity in urban farms and can be expensive to build and install. So if you choose to utilize one, be sure to not overextend yourself financially. The benefits to homesteading in urban areas include the availability of markets and customers and supplies. If you have a professional operation, and while the benefits to homesteading in urban areas include the availability of markets and customers and supplies if you have a professional operation. And while many people crave the solitude of the country and wide open spaces, good job, Chloe, homesteading and farming can be lonely occupations. Being in an urban area puts you in contact with people so you can build a community of like-minded individuals who can help with crop mobs, buy your produce, and maybe even make you feel a little less crazy when you decide to quit your job and start an urban farm. Well, you know what? That's all fine and dandy. And you can create urban farms and urban homesteads, as we've discussed in many videos. However, I personally feel that having that, that land where even you could go into it with friends, like-minded individuals, and share the land, maybe put their own little structures on the land and share it, and all, put into it and help build up that homestead and create that environment that will sustain you completely is a much better situation. And yes, this is part of the discussion that's going on in our house right now. All right, let me finish this and then I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Definitions. A wheel hoe is a push hoe with 1 or 2 wheels. Most models come with 2 handles. The hoe attached to the device is often removable and interchangeable with disc sweeps and plows. The device works really well for well-kept loose soil and is great for operations desiring a small carbon footprint. Okay, now with us, regardless of where we are, I'm still doing raised garden beds because it's going to be a lot easier for me, for all of us, to tend to the gardens and all of that. And won't have to deal with the weeds, like I was talking about, like I had the problem with in Michigan. Not nearly as much, so. A broad fork is a two-handed garden fork that works great for loosening and aerating soil. With the right planning and work, a broad fork can replace a power tiller. A tiller, either powered or unpowered, stirs earth and soil by digging and overturning it. Most power tillers overturn the earth, although some also cultivate it, a form of secondary tillage. Cultivation, for most intents and purposes, tends to occur after the first tillage and breaks the soil into finer particulates. While walk-behind power tillers are the most well-known, tilling can be done with a shovel, a broad fork, a large digging hoe, or a manual twist-style tiller. Power handheld think claw cultivator and rotary cultivators are used to break the soil medium into finer particles. Cultivation also plays an important role in weed suppression during the season, as cultivation allows gardeners the ability to remove weed biomass from an area. Hula hoes feature a circular open blade at the end that resembles the stirrups on a horse's saddle. They're also called action hoes because of the movement the blade produces due to the swivel on the neck of the hoe. These are, hands down, my favorite tool to use. I've never even seen one. Oh, I got a headache. They come in sizes up to 7 inches wide and make weeding a lot less of a chore. While they work best in well-cultivated soils, they're also tough enough that a backyard gardener can use them to remove patches of sod when necessary. Alright, and that's the end of the micro farms and urban farms out of this section. So I'm going to go ahead, and the next one will be from chapter 6 on how to farm and on the basics. And I'll probably make just a little video out of that and then go on to conventional farming, which is just a little section as well, and then organic farming. And then, ours is going to be more organic homesteading, permaculture, biodynamics. And then chapter 7 goes into animal husbandry. Okay. So, what we're discussing. We have been talking about, Chloe and I actually have been discussing this for almost a week. We've been looking at properties. Yes, we have our property down here. I'm thinking very seriously of making a deal with a couple of friends of ours on it. We've been discussing, like the weather and how hot the summers are down here. Andrew can't stand the summers down here. He wants to continue, we all want to continue living in the same household. We're helping each other out a lot. We've made really good friends. Technically, he's family. We consider Andrew family down here, that we've made. Maybe that was one of the reasons why we were meant to be down here for a while. But the property that we've started looking at is up in northern Maine. I know. It's gorgeous up there. We would be able to... The summers wouldn't be nearly as hot. The summers would be actually perfect growing season for a lot of things. Yeah, there's some things we wouldn't be able to grow. I'd probably have to give up my peach trees. But maybe I could get Aaron to grow my peaches for me. If he wants to stay in Michigan, which I might offer him a deal on moving with us if we decide to do this. You know, a lot of things are kind of up in the air right now. We're discussing, you know, the money end of it, and the biggest thing is Andrew has a friend who he's known since you know, he's been friends with, really good friends with him since he was 15, and who wants to be able, you know, who might be willing to help us out. And he's talked about northern Maine, and but we've checked out some properties, and it's just, you know, it's more than just it being really, really beautiful up there, because it really, really is. I mean, it's a state that borders the ocean, guys. Come on. We'd be able to grow most things, you know, and as I said earlier, our greenhouse would be immensely, I would make sure our greenhouse was intricate and big. And I might even be able to put a couple of peach trees in our greenhouse, because, you know, I would try to make it to where we could actually do that. So, and Andrew would, you know, would have his seed business, and he would need that greenhouse space as well. So, anyway, but we found several properties up there, and there's one that's in Enfield, 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 Maine. I keep wanting to say Missouri or Montana. I don't know why. Enfield, Missouri. It's near Lincoln. It's just minutes away from Lincoln. It's 16 acres. There's a cabin already on the property. It needs work. It's not livable right now. But we would, you know, we would be able to fix it up. And I'm gonna, you know, if Andrew's friend is willing to help us out, um, which I'm not gonna go into the details of that, because that, you know, that doesn't need to be on the video. But anyway, I'm gonna, you know, talk to Andrew about us possibly just buying that camper trailer and fixing it up, you know, making it sound to where it can travel, and, you know, we could take it with us and put that on the property, so we'd have something to stay in while we were fixing the cabin. And there's places all around in Lincoln where we could get, you know, pallets and that kind of thing, to where we could easily fix up the cabin. And you know, I'm still gonna buy a drill and tools and that kind of. We're still gonna need all those kind of tools. But it's in the discussion stage right now. But to the point to where, you know, like, we've checked out properties, we've looked at a lot of, you know, we've looked at several different things, and we've discussed issues that we could have, and yes, the winters in Maine, I know this. And I've already looked up videos on YouTube on homesteading in Maine, and, huh? Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Anyway. But yeah, I've looked up videos, and believe it or not, Maine is actually listed among the top 10 states for homesteading. So, it has very fertile soil, it has excellent growing area. It's not called the pine tree state for no reason. And, you know, I would feel like I was right at home, like, right. Not that I don't hear, it's just, you know, maybe Oklahoma was just a stepping stone. You know, we met a lot of great people down here. We have a great church. We did find some churches up there. But we've also, you know, discussed, hey, we can still pull up the Leslie First Baptist Church online, you know, and watch that. And we can pull up the church down here online and watch that. And, you know, there's options for that. So we don't have to worry about that. But again, it's in the discussion stage, and But I mean, to the point where Andrew's going to talk to his friend. You know, and he told us earlier. Sorry, I gotta read that in a minute. I also, my mind is all over the place right now. Anyway, I mean, it's to the point to where Andrew, you know, I've been talking to him about it for a couple of days now, just kind of like up in conversation. And I was thinking, hey, you know, because he's talked about it, you know, about his friend that's talked about getting property up there, and you know, Andrew has said something because he hates the summers down here. And they are miserable. They are so hot and so humid and just miserable. And Chloe misses snow. But you know, I don't want to move back to Michigan. I really don't. I love my boys. I have, you know, Aaron and Christian, and I miss them. And I love them with all of my heart. But I know God will take care of them. And I'm going to throw it out there to Aaron. Kind of make him a deal. Maybe he'd be willing. I don't know. I hope so. I miss my boys, can you tell? Aaron manages to come down. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry when I see my sister. But sorry, you guys. I don't know. But anyway. But yeah, it's in the discussion stage to the point to where, you know, Andrew brought it up himself. You know, we were talking about it this morning. You know, hey, you know, he said that if he could get his friend, you know, on board, he said, you know, maybe we could just, you know, find a property and we could just all move up there together. And that's what we're thinking. So anyway, you know, and I know it's a long ways up there, but would be a 31 hours, something like that. And we would drive. Andrew and I both have our driver's license, so we could split the trip, obviously. I know it would be a little bit more difficult with a camper trailer, but I would rather have the camper trailer to where, you know, when we got up there and got onto the property, we would have it to stay in. So that wouldn't be as bad as not having anything to stay in on the property, because I don't want to deal with that again. You know, we go up, we do this, we go up there, we're staying on the property, period. Which is why I want to get the camper trailer. So, anyway. But yeah, it's in the discussion stage, and Andrew's going to talk to his friend either today or tomorrow. So, and I will definitely keep you guys updated. You know, it'd be really freaking cool, you know, for us to be able to move out there or up there. And Faith First Farm, you know, I could get on there and be like, hey, Faith First Farm coming to you from Maine, from Enfield, Maine. It'd be even cooler if Aaron was willing to move up there. I hope. Really hope and pray that he will. Be even cooler if Elaine did. Especially if she was willing to move onto the property with us. Anyway. So yeah, that's what's going on. But also, like, up in Maine, the other really awesome thing. Okay, in Maine, there's the small wild blueberry patches that I remember Elaine showing me up north in Michigan when her and Dave lived in Castor Air Force Base. when Dave was in the Air Force, and Elaine and I took a walk with Rose, who was only 3 years old at the time, her daughter, and Elaine had Rose in the stroller, and we went for a walk, and we went out to the blueberry patch, and up there there are patches. Same for Maine. But there's a ton of wild blueberry patches, and a lot of your wild blueberries that you get, check them in the store. They say wild blueberries. If you can find, like, a lot of them, I think even Meyer in Michigan, the wild blueberry packages in the freezer will say wild blueberries from Maine. So, plus there's a lot of wild blackberries up there. There's a lot of wild black raspberries. There's gooseberries grow wild up there. All the raspberries grow up there. All of them, which is amazing because we would finally get our fall gold. I've not been able to check our plants, by the way. Anyway, but like I said, it's still in the discussion stage. And hang on, guys. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm logged in on the... I've been looking on landwatch.com, and this is where I found the property. There's a lot of really pretty. It's so pretty up there. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one right here. Actually, I'll read. It's $59,900. It's for 16 acres. There is a cabin on the property. Excuse me. Great wooded lot with a 24 by 24 camp just off the Dodland Road in Enfield. The 16-acre lot is in a quiet neighborhood not far from Coldstream Pond. The property has a dug well on it that the sellers have used recently. The land by the road is sloping, but as you move away from the road, it levels off. Plenty of wood to be cut on the land. It hasn't been harvested in a while, so there's a lot of larger tree growth, which is great. Would be a great spot for a recreational cabin. Enfield, Maine is the home of Coldwater Stream Pond. This is a cold water, deep body of water. There are 2 public beach areas and a public boat launch, which is nice. This lake has great bass fishing. There is also landlocked salmon togue. That's Togue. Enfield is only minutes from Lincoln. Lincoln has the larger stores and grocery stores for supplies. There's Tractor Supply. There's Walmart. Chloe would be able to transfer her job from Subway, but she just got a job at Subway. She'd be able to transfer her job. And the minimum wage there starts at 14 something an hour. And for sandwich makers, she looked it up, she would be starting at 15. So she would go from $9.50 to 15 something an hour. Her wage would go up $6 an hour. And there's Walmart, there's Tractor Supply, there's a whole bunch of places up there. There are also several great restaurants and hotels. Let me see. The amenities, housing, boat dock, slip, land, beach, boating, fishing, boat ramp, tank and pond, hunting and fishing. Alright, now the pictures, and I will show you guys these pictures. Okay, the cabin is, like, we couldn't stay in the cabin right off. I told Chloe it's probably haunted. You guys let me know what you think. And yes, those of you guys that are in Oklahoma, I know that you guys would miss us, but there's Facebook, there's video chat. I mean, maybe somebody could even start videoing the Sunday school at the church. make it to where it would make it a little bit better, I think. Yeah, you can see the cabin needs a lot of work. See that? See the floor. But there's a lot of places around there we could get pallets and we could easily fix that area up, even though, you know, it looks like it does need a lot of work, I'll give you that. A lot of cleanup, a lot of work, but we could do it. We'd have to buy like the insulation and stuff for the inside walls and that kind of thing. But look at this. Look at the woodsy area out there. It's gorgeous. And it's just an hour. I think it's about an hour and a half from the coastline, which is awesome. See, guys? But this would be amazing to be able to build Faith First Farm out here. And yeah, you know what? We'd have hard winters, but you know something? I miss it. There's not much better on a cold night than to be able to gather around a wood stove and just sit with family. I don't know if Elaine's gonna watch this video or not. She might.
Well, that's very kind of you. I'm sorry.
Believe me, there are many children who go to the State Farm responsible.
It's so woodsy up there. Again, it's not called the Pine Tree State for nothing. You guys will have to let me know what you think. And no fair saying no on just because of the fact that you guys would miss us. And those of you Michiganders, you guys can't use that one either because it's still drivable away.
Since you put it that way.
And I'm still gonna be doing the store for Faith First. Okay, that's all the pictures. I'm still gonna be doing the store for Faith First, you guys. So, I think kind of wanted to show you guys something else. I don't know where I'm going. That's back into the state. Oh, that's not even fair. I'll have to ask Chloe.
You alright?
I don't know if it was Lincoln View or Little View or something like that. That's the area that's right near the coast where we could drive down to. So when I get those pictures, I'll show them to you guys. But anyway, that's what's going on, you guys. And oh, also apple trees grow really well up there. Cherry trees. I do believe plum trees. Probably the Stanley plum. There's one channel I started to watch and I subscribed to and started watching. It's called Raven something. Raven's Homestead or something. I don't know. Anyway, they have some apple trees planted. They have some cherry trees. Pear trees. Certain ones will grow up there. I do believe the Bartlett pear trees will grow up there. And Bartlett is one of my favorites. But we won't have to worry about finding a place to get our trees from because Tractor Supply. I think there's 2 Tractor Supplies in Lincoln, so. But I will let you guys know on this, and, you know, I think it'd be pretty cool. I'd be very happy to put the brand new Faith First Farm and Homestead sign on that property. So, anyway, but I'll let you guys know, and we will go from there. And I will get this video up there, and I will see you guys in a little bit in the next video. Bye, guys. Let me know what you think. And no fair saying no just because you'd miss me. And you Michiganders, you get your butts up there and see us once all this goes through. And you know what? I'm going to say this because I'll probably send this video to Aaron after we get all this kind of set in stone. Aaron, I'm going to throw a proposition in your lap. But even still, it's not impossible for you to come and see us. And I'd be willing to pay for it. We start making money off from our homestead, I'll have the money to give you to make up for time that you would have to take off to come and see us. And you could take a plane, and there's an airport right in Lincoln, so you wouldn't have a reason not to. Christian, same for you, and I'm going to send you this video, and I'm actually sick and tired of not hearing from you. I'm not going to get into that right now. I love you. I'm not really angry with you. I just want to talk to you. But I'll send you this video once we get the nooks and crannies worked out, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.
But since we found out she has sensitive